Welcome in to episode 11, Fantasy and Football Podcast. We're your hosts, Chris and Colby, here to talk to you about fantasy football and the fantasy genre. As always, we'll start with football today. Week 10 is in the books. Browns still suck. This is probably one of the worst losses that I can really remember, like recently with the Browns. I mean, they have a lot of bad losses where they invent ways to lose and that kind of thing. But It's like you got the Jets after they just traded all their best players. They didn't even name a QB until like the day of. And the Browns came out and had like that drive. They went up 7-0 on the kickoff, gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown. The offense comes back out, goes 3 and out, punts it, and then gives up a punt return touchdown.
Yes.
Dylan Gabriel is just atrocious. I think statistically, with the number of starts he has now, he's like the worst QB in the league so far, with like whatever minimum number of starts over the whole season. So just not good. It's really kind of inexcusable that they keep playing him. Problem is, what do you do if you don't play him? I guess Shador goes out there. So we'll see if we see him. The coach, what did he say? He was like asked pretty much point blank by one of the Browns reporters and was like, name some things, some positive things or areas where you've seen Dylan Gabriel really improve. And his answer was like, yeah, young guys, they're going to make mistakes.
Oh, geez. That's tough.
So
the answer is he hasn't.
It has not been going well for the Browns. Your Chiefs were a bye week, so nothing happened for them. But looking ahead, they've got a classic divisional matchup against the Broncos. How are you feeling about that?
I'm excited. I feel fine. I think it depends. Like the Broncos, which Broncos are we going to get? Because like they'll crush a team and then like barely beat the Raiders. So it's like we'll see. I feel good about it though.
I do too.
Off of bye week 2, rested up.
Off of bye, kind of like off the loss to the Bills, like their annual regular season loss to the Bills.
Yes, exactly.
Then the bye week, and then you just feel like they have the Broncos number. All right. Feels like kind of a must win. I feel like all the Chiefs games now
from here out, they do
like must wins. Yeah,
I agree. And I think if we lose this, then I'll start to be like, oh shit. But right now I'm still feeling confident.
That's good. Yeah, I'm pretty much already on. Well, we've got Ohio State, but I'm also on Cavs basketball now that they've started. They're 8-4, looking good, man.
Ooh.
I think it'll be, on one hand, a repeat of like the last couple years where one of the best regular season teams, but now in the Eastern Conference, they keep getting bounced because first it was the Knicks and then it was Indiana last year, the Pacers. But now, like, the Knicks are still tough. Miami is pretty good, but it's like the Celtics, the Pacers with the injuries, like the East, it feels like if they were going to make a deeper run, like potentially to the finals, this would be the year for them to do it. So feeling good about that. Maybe we'll insert a little Cavs talk since the Browns are just so bad. All right. All right, moving on to GM of the Year, the segment where we state players we played any of our lineups to outperform their projections, making our case for GM of the Year.
No. I had guys that like went off, but like I would have started them every single game of the year. So.
Again, started in 99% of leagues.
Yeah, and I'll talk about this later. I actually really did not do well this week. Dropped the ball big time.
Yeah, you did. I got some complaints, official complaints filed.
Okay.
I tried to help you out.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Me, no, because all my teams still suck. Moving on to the segment, win, lose, or Bush League. In this segment, we state whether we won, we lost, or we lost and should have won. In other words, it was a Bush League.
Yeah, so like I said, I royally dropped the bag this week. So it's like the Chiefs had a bye week. So in my brain, I was like, football
You
has
were
a
also
bye week.
on a bye.
Yeah. I didn't look at any of my lineups. And in every single one of my lineups, I had two empty spots. Now, our league, I literally actually did look at it because you did text me. And I was like, oh shit. So I went and looked.
Doing my commissioner duties.
Yes. And I was at work and I was like, oh, good. I have no one on my bench that can play. They're either all hurt or also had a bye week. So I was like, okay. So I lost that league. My friend league, I got smacked. I scored like 70 because I had two guys not playing. And then in my work league, I had Gibbs and A-Chain. Is that how you say it? Yeah. They each had 40 plus. And I had London on my bench who scored 24.
Yeah.
If I would have played him, which I would have had to, I would have won. So that one hurt.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
In our league, I lost. Now I will say my team finally, scored up to their projection. Like usually, what happens is like the last month is that I'm projected to score like 140 plus, and then I score less than 130.
Yeah.
But this time I was projected like 140 and scored 140. But wouldn't you know it?
That sucks.
My opponent scored like 170 something points. So,
you can't win any of them.
Just going back to that well, baby.
Yeah.
In my family league, I lost.
Good.
But oh no, I have that wrong. Sorry, I won. I won in my family league.
Okay.
Which is good because I'm definitely not the best team. Like I would say immediately post draft, I was probably like a top 3 team. I kind of feel that way every year that I'm like right there. Now I had just tough. I won't say a tough draft position because one, it's an 8-team league, so no position is really that tough.
Yeah.
But I had the first pick and then the whole Jamar Chase thing. I was on the Brian Thomas Jr. We've been over this. Just a bunch of players that you would expect. Like I made the right picks, but it's like, okay, I guess I should have drafted Rico Dowdle. Like my fault instead of Brian Thomas. Omar and Hampton on IR, Bucky Irving just out indefinitely. So that whole thing. But it does feel like I'm right at the cutoff for the playoffs there. And I feel like my team is kind of still not like gonna be performing like super highly, but is at least more consistent. Like it feels like, okay, we got some guys that are like a little more consistent. And if I can at least get into the playoffs, you never know what can happen with that. And then my friend league, I lost again. But what's important there is that I finally sold like the last couple of my valuable players. I had Matt Stafford and Michael Pittman, and I was able to trade those guys. So in this league, you can trade picks because it's not a dynasty league, but it's a keeper league. So you can trade picks and all that. And so now I am kicking myself because I drafted Jonathan Taylor because I was like, I think he's going to be good this year. I wasn't expecting like #1 overall player, but thought he'd be good. And I sold him early on in the season for a 3rd round pick, which is like pretty good. I figured I wanted like a 2nd round pick, but I was like a 3rd round pick. Okay, that feels fine. And now looking back on it, I'm like,
a
1st round pick.
Seriously.
Probably for him. So I delivered that guy probably a championship. And he still has his 1st round pick next year. So
wow.
There you go. So with all of those picks, and then with this trade that I just made, so I have a 1st round pick, a 2nd round pick, 2 3rd round picks, and then 4th, no 5th round pick, or no 5th round pick, and then I've traded for 2 6-round picks. So 1 6-round pick is an additional pick from one of the top teams.
Okay.
And then I just traded my 6th-round pick with another top team's 6th-round pick. So I just like moved up in the round. But with it being an even numbered round at the turn, and the way we do pick order is determined by how you finish in this league the year before. So whoever finishes first has pick 12, and then it goes back from there, right? So as it snakes around on the even numbered rounds,
that'd be opposite.
Right? So if you traded a pick with a top player, if they finish close to the top,
I see.
Then you're moving up in that round.
Yeah.
So I traded my pick, which will probably be at like the end of the 6th round, for a pick that will be closer to the beginning of the 6th round. So I moved up quite a bit. And so both of those picks, I'm assuming at least one of these two teams is going to finish like 2, 3, maybe even 1, like win it all. So those 6th-round picks are going to be like really close to the 5th round. So whatever strategy, all that. And then the rest of those picks down from there. So that was kind of some silver lining. And that trade that happened like totally came out of nowhere. I guess it is a trade deadline for fantasy football this week. And so things are just kind of spicing up. But all right, that was win, lose, or Bush League. Speaking of trades, we're gonna do Chris and Colby live trade 2.0 coming up here. So it is a trade deadline, as I just mentioned. And so in the league that we're in, the bottom team who has 0 wins, every single week I send that team a trade. And then they message me and they're like, oh, that sounds pretty good. Let me think about it. And then they don't do it. And that has happened every single week. And the one player I've tried to trade from them every single week is Drake London. And they just won't do it, and they have 0 wins.
That's amazing.
And then I messaged them today, and they just said that they want to hoard all their players and just
that's ridiculous.
Watch the world burn. So you don't have to trade, but it's no fun. So I propose to you a trade because I am in dire need.
I'm in need too
of a wide receiver. So I'm gonna pull this up.
Okay, I'll pull mine up.
Fantasy Pearls here. So here's where I'm at. So I'll just read like the starters that I have in right now. So running back, Javonte Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, pretty good.
Yep.
We have 2 flex positions. So I've got DeAndre Swift and then what would be Bucky Irving, but he's out. So I've got Rachaad White, which like he's been losing time. So that's not great. To Trey, is it Trey Tucker? No, Trey Tucker's wide receiver. I'm sorry that I'm totally blanking on his name. But anyways, their third string running back and him are pretty much splitting carries now, which is not great for people with Bucky Irving trying to look for a backup. But anyways, still not bad. And then receivers, I've got Wan'Dale Robinson and Roma Tuesday. So like not terrible, very up and down. Not like wide receiver ones, either of them. And then I've got Garrett Wilson, who has now been in and out, and Juwan Jennings. So just, I would give my running back room like an A+ if everyone is healthy. Right now, probably like a B+, but my wide receiver, I would give like a C, just not very good.
Yeah. Okay.
And so do you have your team pulled up?
I do.
All right, go through your guys here.
Yeah. My running backs, I have A-Chain, who's stellar, but that is it because I had Omarion Hampton from our trade.
From trade number 1. Yeah, that Bucky Irving, Omarion Hampton, they just got injured now.
They're like immediately.
Nothing's going on.
We're like, oh, sweet. Yeah. And then Kareem Hunt is my other starter, and that's literally it. Like, I don't even have a guy on my bench. which was hence why I had a hole last week.
Yes.
My receivers are not bad. I have Lad Conkey. I have Justin Jefferson. I have notably, Sam Laporta and Tyler Warren, who both can like put up numbers week to week.
Yeah. Good receiving tight ends.
Yeah.
Warren for sure. Yeah.
Right. DJ Moore, who can have a boom, and then George Pickens, who's honestly been very good this whole year. And then I have Keenan Allen and Jacoby Myers on my bench. Jacoby Myers, dude, he had like a week 1 that made me be like, oh shit, I'm gonna start him every week, and then like hasn't had a good week since.
Yeah, he's been pretty like flex low end kind of flex play. Yeah, not someone that
so I am doing okay. I definitely am hurting running back wise for sure.
Yes.
That's my weak spot, absolutely.
All right.
Okay, so let's look at this.
So the initial trade I sent you was for George Pickens. So not your best receiver, but definitely like
he's one of the start like 1 or 2.
Yeah, but would definitely be like I would say Justin Jefferson is probably your number 1.
Yeah, I agree.
And then like Lad, Pickens, like going back and forth. The main thing is that Lad, well, Pickens has CeeDee Lamb there, so that's another big thing. But so Pickens, but he would immediately be my best receiver.
Yeah,
by far. And then I would be giving you DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Who has been very solid, running back 15, even with the rookie Manangai doing well. Like when Swift is healthy, like he is a 15 to 20 points guy. The Bears offense is like rolling a little bit now. No more bye weeks for him. So there's DeAndre Swift. And then reinsuring a little bit of wide receiver help since you're losing him with Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, Juwan Jennings, I'm looking at his stats. He's had 2 solid weeks in a row. No, I like this trade. I am totally on board for this.
Because the other thoughts I had were I thought it'd be weird to do like one-on-one, like straight up Javonte for Pickens when it's like they're on the same team. It'd be kind of funny. But if you felt like Juwan Jennings didn't inspire much confidence to replace him, then looking at more of like probably a Dunze. He's very solid. Yeah. He's only really had like two or three down weeks. Like he had the 0, which was inexplicable against Cincinnati. They scored over 40 points and he had 0 catches for 0 yards. And 0.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then a couple of games, you would have expected him like against a Washington defense, against the New Orleans defense to like go off, and he didn't. Otherwise, he's been 15 plus.
Most of the time.
I think DJ Moore, and so that's another thing that I was considering, right? It was like a Dunze, but you already have DJ Moore, and it's like, I think at this point I would rather have a Dunze than DJ Moore.
I think so too.
But just things to consider.
Yeah. So if you would switch out Juwan Jennings for a Dunze.
Yes.
I feel like I could make that work because then I could just like bench DJ Moore and start a Dunze. Yeah. I'd be down for that. So I'd need to counter.
You could counter. Because where's Keenan at? He's got a bye coming up. You got Laporta. Because Tyler Warren, is he on bye? Yeah, he's on bye this week. So that doesn't help. Now that I'm talking myself into that, I'm like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I might be a little rich.
No, I like it.
It doesn't really actually solve my problem.
I was gonna say
as much because what Pickens is. I mean, he's wide receiver 5.
I mean, I honestly liked your first proposal. I would, because you might need a Dunze.
Yeah.
I would take Jennings.
Let's see what he has coming up. Because he's got. Yeah, he had 9 targets. And he scored 2 weeks in a row. And he's got Arizona, Carolina, Tennessee, Chicago. I mean, he's got some good matchups coming up. The other, and one more option that I thought of was Garrett Wilson. Now, this is an interesting one because if like you look at his projections every week, he's like projected for 16 points. And he's had some really good games. It's just like, well, he's been hurt with the knee injury. So he's not going to play this week. But then it's like when he comes back, it's like they don't have anyone else to throw it to. And even with Justin Fields, like he's had 22, 24, 20, 19.
Yeah.
So he would be the highest upside, but also like the most risk.
Yeah.
And I would be willing to do that if you wanted more of the upside, whereas Juwan is probably like a safer floor, but much lower ceiling than Garrett Wilson.
I think I'll take Juwan. So I'll take the trade as is.
All right.
I'm going to accept it. Pleasure doing business with you. 2 times in one season.
Trade 2.0 right at the deadline.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I pray for all these men's health.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Guaranteed at least 2 of these guys are getting injured next week.
Yes. All right.
All right. Nice.
So I'm just going to process it now because I can, because I'm the commissioner. All right. So your team should be updated now.
Sweet. There it is. I can bench Kareem Hunt, who has done okay, but he's projected like 6 points every week.
I know. It's like he's projected 6 points. Will get 5 carries for 15 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet.
All right. Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
All right, trade 2.0. Injury talk, we'll move on here. So keeping this really brief. In other words, just talking about one player this week, Travis Hunter. So he was out on IR for a knee injury. And then it turns out he actually had surgery to repair his LCL and will be out for the rest of the season. So I think we've talked about or just mentioned the main ligaments, the primary ligaments of the knee. The LCL is one of those. So LCL stands for your lateral cruciate ligament. No, cruciate. Lateral collateral ligament. Jeez, look at this guy.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. Take his license.
Yeah.
So lateral collateral ligament. And so this one is a little fun because so all the main ones, your LCL, MCL, ACL, and PCL are technically extra articular, meaning that they're outside of the joint capsule proper. Now the LCL is even a little more different than those because the ACL and PCL, which are the ones on like the interior of the knee, they are connecting the femur, your long bone in your thigh, to your tibia, your shin bone. That makes your knee joint proper. So they're all connections between those two bones. The LCL, however, runs from the femur to your fibula, the smaller bone on the outside of your leg. So what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Really, it just means that it's a little bit kind of separated a little bit more from the knee joint. When you think about knee mechanics and how those things move, the LCL primarily helps to prevent your knee from subluxating or dislocating laterally, but it's a kind of a more uncommon injury, just because when you think about like jumping, running, cutting, you're not putting a lot of lateral forces on your knee when it comes to those sorts of things. So definitely in football, where you can get hit and things are forced into different positions, obviously they didn't think immediately. It was like, oh yeah, it's done, got to do surgery. Like he went through a processors on IR, probably got an opinion, and then they went ahead and just did the repair of it. Another kind of implication with its positioning is, unlike the MCL or the ACL, that are really close by to like heavily innervated and tissue and good blood supply tissue. The LCL definitely has blood supply to it, but not quite as much as those other ligaments. So he had repair. I don't know what that repair entailed, likely some kind of anchoring or suturing, those sorts of things. When you have that done, wherever they put those anchors or those sutures, usually running from the piece that's torn into the bone, you then need the piece that's torn to heal to that bone. You need it to take, you need it to attach, and that takes time. And then once there's enough time for healing for that, then like we've talked about, you can start putting some kind of stress, some kind of load. You have to start very small. You have to get the range of motion back. You got to do all those things. You have to get those muscles working again. And then you go through a ramp up process of just building strength, range of motion. That's before you get to the return to sport. All those things. Needless to say, he's not going to have enough time to get through all of that before the season starts.
I saw on the TV, it said like expected return to football activities 6 months. It made me think of us explaining that, because it's like most people will see that and be like, oh, he'll be good to go in 6 months. It's like, no, that's just like the start of the ramp up, isn't it?
Yeah. For the return to sport. That'd be like 6 months for you or me too. But then he's got to get back to that. So wishing him the best. I mean, I'm a fan of his.
Me too.
I definitely thought kind of going both ways was going to be tough. I don't know. Everyone wants to speculate that it's like, oh, we told you, like now he's out for the season with an injury because he was going both ways. I don't know that much.
Right.
But hopefully he recovers well from that. There are other injuries, but none quite as notable. A few concussions like Jackson Dart. Famous Jameis is going to start this weekend now. So.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, dude. So Wan'Dale Robinson might have 4 touchdowns. You never know.
You're right. That's awesome. Oh, man.
Yep. All right. That'll be injury talk. And then we will close out today with the Fantasy Football Coronation Quest.
There we go. Nice.
All right. Let me get mine up here so your brother can see.
Yes, sir.
My eyesight's like Jameis. I gotta get that. LASIK, can't see the crab legs. All right. So this week for the Coronation Quest, King of the North, most fantasy points scored was JT, the man himself, Jonathan Taylor. It really is a shame. They should have a Cy Young style award for QBs, and then let guys like Jonathan Taylor win MVPs, because it's just a shame.
Yeah. And like Saquon
back in the day. Yeah. Back in the day, guys playing running back and stuff could win an MVP, but not anymore.
Not anymore.
The Goblin King, huh?
They should do that with the Cy Young.
Yeah. I've heard, and I think what would be, as much as it pains me, I think a good idea would be to call it like the Tom Brady, quarterback, most valuable quarterback award or something like that.
Right.
Just what Tom needs is another freaking thing.
Yeah.
All right. Next is the Goblet King, most touchdowns scored, non-QB. So JT doubles up. And then Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
First time?
I believe so.
First time. Yeah. Welcome to the party. A week too late.
Yeah.
Had him in my guillotine league. So
tough.
But we love Jahmyr Gibbs. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Next, Hand of the King, most catches. So we got the tight end trifecta here.
Yeah.
Trey McBride, George Kittle, Cade Otton.
Yeah.
A week after
tight
end week when Brock Bowers was
balling out.
Yeah. So 3-way there. Next, what do we have? The Shield of Rohan. Best defense goes to the Seahawks.
New team.
I've been high on them. And then I dropped them. And then another player picked him up before I could pick him back up.
Dang.
And he ended up, he was the one that was the team that beat me. With my own team. I've been hot on all year. Yep.
Oh, man.
I know. All right, next we have the Lizan Al-Gaib. Best kicker goes to Jason Myers, Seattle. Defense, special teams, stepping up there. Next, we've got the Reaper, most rush yards, surprise, surprise. Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's pulling away with some of these.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
And then our favorite, as always, the Creature Golem. First time we've got, right?
Yeah.
2 now on the list. So we've got Miles Price, wide receiver for Minnesota, and Keyshawn Williams, wide receiver for Pittsburgh. Each recorded a fumble for -2. So good job, guys. Pay me $500,000 to go out there and fumble. I can do that.
Same. I could do it many times, really, if you ask me to.
As many as you want.
Yeah. I'll rig the game.
I'll get embroiled in a player proposition scandal.
Yeah.
All right, that was week 10.
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy and football coordination
quest. Very nice. Okay. You know what time it is. We're switching from fantasy over to fantasy. Today, our topic is going to be fantasy tropes. Are you familiar with that term? I mean, like, the tropes. Like, basically, yeah, cool. So, fantasy is full of tropes, and for good reason, because those stories are usually really good. They've been proven as successful over the years, so they've stuck around. People write what's selling, so they just continue to recycle through and through. So today we're going to talk about a handful of those, like the most common tropes that you'll see, and we can talk about if we like or dislike them, if we're tired of them or don't mind them, and then some other things like that. A lot of these blend together. That's like usually how a lot of fantasy goes. It's not just like one trope in them. So a few of these smashed together are pretty similar, but we're going to talk about them all. It's a lot of the most famous stories use many of them, like Harry Potter.
And it's just like common threads of human experience, you know?
Yes, exactly. Okay, so the first one is a very big classic. It's The Chosen One. You see this all the time. I mean, this is in, obviously, Harry Potter. It's in, like, well...
So many that you can't even name them all. Right?
Yeah. Is this something that you are tired of? Or do you like or dislike it?
I guess I kind of like, I kind of do like The Chosen One. And I feel like probably for a lot of these, for me, it boils down to, is it done well? Because that's really what separates the good ones. Like these, particularly the movies, because I haven't actually read the books, but Dune, like Paul Atreides.
Yeah, dude.
Sick Chosen
One. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? The Matrix, literally the one.
Yes.
Yes. Like, sick. But then, other times it's just like, I don't know. I'm not like a huge Hunger Games fan.
Right.
Like, I think they're okay. But to me, it's just kind of like, all right. Like, she's the chosen one that kind of breaks the system. Game of Thrones, there's a lot of chosen ones. I think that could be cool,
That's
kind of
true.
like sub thing. But
Yeah.
no, I think generally it's cool because you get to see how they deal with it if they know. I think there's a lot of directions you can go with like a chosen one narrative where you can have it like really psychologically influence the consumer, like with the story and like how you weave that through.
Right. I love it. I'm a big chosen one guy. In fact, like one of the 3 novels that I've written, one of them was a chosen one for sure. And it's like you said, it's super fun when they do it well. Okay, the next one is very similar. It's prophecies. That's huge in fantasy. And a lot of prophecies usually have a chosen one in them, but there's also a lot of other stuff that's involved in them as well. I like these sometimes. I like them. I think they are sometimes overused, but but most of the time they're very good. And
I think I agree that I think a lot of times they are overused. I kind of have like the opposite problem with prophecies, is that there's not like a ton of directions you can go. It's either that the prophecy is either true or it's not.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, I mean, you can kind of play with that idea a little bit, but I would say most of the time, I think what I see with the prophecies is just kind of like, okay, like, yeah, we get it. It was foretold. Like, let's just find out.
I know the only time that I really like prophecies, which is ironic because I wrote a book about a prophecy, but is when it like has a heavy mystery component to it, and it isn't as like straightforward as you think, and maybe like there's a big twist involved, and you have to figure it out as you're going. But then like those stories are usually centered around the prophecy. Like, I mean, Mistborn, that's like a huge thing,
right?
And that's done beautifully. And like until the last moment, you're like, oh shit, that's what it meant.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, the next one. Just want to make sure Claire's not about to walk out.
Yeah. We'll have to cut it.
Yeah.
All right.
The next one is like farm town / small town nobody to hero of the world, like the rags to riches. Like the prime example everyone uses is Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. What do you think of this one?
I think I tend to like this one. This is definitely one that is like common thread of normal human existence. Like, kind of picture themselves as that, like that could be me kind of a thing. So I think a lot of people tend to like this. Like, it's why people like underdogs in sports and like all that kind of thing. Because
I agree.
I think a lot of people see themselves in those sort of things. So yeah, I mean that's a classic one. I'm trying to think, like Will of the Many has like a little bit of that.
Another big one is the Wheel of Time. Like he literally starts on a farm. He's a small town farm son of a farmer.
Yeah. You see a little bit of that with like the Hercules.
Yeah, that's
Flash.
true. Superman is literally
Superman. That's literally that's what I was gonna say. Is like now turns out they have superpowers. Kind of our Peter Parker, like Spider-Man kind of thing too, a little bit. Like he's like kind of a dorky kid,
right? And I get why they do it. It's super. It's the easiest way, I think, if you're a writer or a showrunner, to get your audience to immediately relate and sympathize to your character is to make them start in humble beginnings. Because, like you said, everyone's like sees themselves in that. No, I like that one when it's done well. Okay, next one is medieval setting, the most stereotypical fantasy setting. Do you like it? Are you tired of that, or do you like reading it?
I'm not gonna say I'm tired of it, but I don't like when it's forced, which is super subjective.
Right.
I mean, a lot of this is, but an example I use is like I've not consumed a ton of like The Witcher.
Oh yeah.
But it comes off, I don't know, and I'm gonna get hate from my brother-in-law for saying that because he's like the biggest Witcher fan on the planet. But maybe I can think of another example. But it's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It feels like the characters speak and act like it is very natural.
Yes.
Versus being like a almost like Skyrim-y
Yeah.
thing where it's just like a little over the top. It's a little overdone. It's just like
where there's knights in armor everywhere, and
yeah, and it's kind of like they make that even more fantastical.
Yes.
Than maybe
I can totally understand that. Yeah. I think when my take on this is sometimes I feel like I'm like, show me something else. And then like I'll read a fantasy, like sci-fi blend story, and then I finish it and I'm like, all right, now give me medieval.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah. And it makes it easy just to I don't know that I've seen a lot of this, but I think that people associate obviously like magic and like wizards, and like magic has to be in a world where there's like no technology, like things are like,
I agree,
very low in terms of like societal advancements, because that makes the gap between them like so large that it's like they have such it mystifies it and like that kind of thing. But then you have like a Harry Potter example where it's like, no, that's
urban
just
fantasy. It's a great point. I've never even like put that 2 and 2 together, because that makes a lot of sense. I mean, a lot of magic in some of the like medieval fantasy books I've read are like solvable with today's technology, like how they use some of it. So you're right, it creates that gap between the lay person and the magic user. Also, just from a writer's perspective, I think it's easiest if you're not going to write an urban fantasy like today's time frame. It's easiest to choose medieval because it's so non-technologically advanced that it doesn't like slow down the story with all those tiny details that you have to be thinking about. Because you're like, oh wait, they can just turn on a light here. It's like, no, they gotta light the candle or use magic. But okay, the next one is the Dark Lord / the like impossibly evil villain, like outrageously evil villain. And I said the Dark Lord because of like Voldemort, where he's like out here trying to murk high school kids.
I guess I don't feel too strongly either way. I would say that I probably tend to like not like a very like centralized villain. I do enjoy more so when it's a story of like what's really popular right now, Wicked, right? So I just watched the first one. I probably watched The Wizard of Oz like one time when I was 5. Don't remember anything about the story. Never watched Wicked. So I just watched the first one. And I like a story where all the like good people are actually the evil people. And then it's like presented to you in a way that's like, here's good and evil. And then it's like, it's actually the other way around. But the way that the world is set up is to make you think. And then they get into the reasons why those people are in those positions and how they have come to make everyone in that ecosystem. And then usually that has the one that like comes in and like like figures out the secret, and then like you know whatever. So I like more of that nuance than just like a singular like they're actually just evil person.
I agree. And I also think that is a big trend that's happening in the like last, I don't know how many years, towards that. Like you think about Thanos is like in some ways people can sympathize with what he's trying to do, at least at the very minimum. Like even in the Rings of Power now they're fleshing out Sauron's like backstory a little bit, versus in the books he's just like this entity that is so evil. Now I know that like Tolkien had written that stuff before. It's not like he didn't write that and that's new, but they're just showing it now. But I agree. I think sometimes it's almost comical when the villains are like so black and white villains that they just like can't even possibly do a single thing that's nice ever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Chill, man.
It's almost like the difference between just an evil villain and like an anti-hero.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, like what they're doing isn't like fully good, but maybe it's not fully bad either.
Yeah.
No.
Nice. Okay, the next one is the mentor, or like the father figure who dies at some point in the story, usually in the first act. This is very common in fantasy.
It is. It's common to one of your books as well, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to even think. What's an example of this?
Well, I mean, he comes back, but Gandalf is one. Dumbledore is one.
Yeah.
There's other like stories that I've read that you probably haven't read where it happens. Paul Atreides, like the Duke, dies.
Oh yeah.
It's usually like the protagonist's father figure or mentor dies.
Yeah.
And that's usually like their inciting incident to finally do the big thing that they've been holding back on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's used. I kind of like it. I mean, I get it. It's like you almost know now. Like you read a story, and you're like, oh, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Usually male, I've noticed. In fact, this is actually a thing. Side tangent. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a phenomenon that happens a lot in writing where a female characters exist for the sole purpose to die so that the male protagonist can like do the thing. And it's something that people call out when it happens.
Jeez.
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, an example that I saw recently actually was Io in Red Rising.
Oh.
Like she only exists to die so that Darrow like gets
it like sets off the whole
I can't remember what it's
saga.
called, but it happens and people always get upset. I mean, it's like, but I think nowadays there's plenty of great female protagonists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal anymore.
You know what you could probably argue is a good spin on this that worked like super well is Star Wars. Like Vader doesn't die.
Oh yeah.
Anakin dies.
That's true.
You know, Vader says it actually in his own words in Kenobi.
Yeah.
Dude,
that edit is so cool. You sent me.
That's first time I've really thought about it that way, but I guess
yeah. True. Nice. Okay, the next one. This is extremely common. Is the orphaned protagonist, the orphaned hero.
Yep.
It's like so rare to see a healthy family. Like, oh wow, his parents are alive and healthy and like supportive. Impossible.
Yeah. So Harry Potter, obviously.
Right.
You know what popped into my mind? That's hilarious. It has, well, I guess, can it fall under the fantasy genre? Did you ever watch the movie Like Mike with Bow Wow?
Oh yeah. I loved that movie. I watched that movie over and over and over as a kid.
Yeah. Who didn't love that movie?
Yeah, he's literally an orphan.
He's an orphan and he gets magic shoes that make him like Mike. So this is technically the trope of the will of the many.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It's so common. And I'm not against it. I totally get why they do it.
Yeah.
Because it immediately isolates the guy.
Well, it isolates them and it like makes people sympathetic.
Makes them sympathetic. And then it almost like there's not that chance of like, well, why would I go do that dangerous thing when I have this here? It's like, well, this is already gone. So you have to. or you don't have to, but it's like not holding you back. Yeah, nice. Okay, this next one is just one that I like. It's the villain monologue right before they're about to do something important. And this is less common nowadays in like novel fantasy, but it's still extremely common in anime. It's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
But you didn't guess that I was gonna do this. In fact, when I was 3 years old, and then it's like a 20-minute monologue where he's just.
And then it's like 2 episodes of like when the villain was a kid.
Yes.
And yeah, before they like fight. Dude, love a good anime villain monologue.
One thing that does bother me about this though, anime, it's hilarious, but if I ever see this in a book, it's like in real life, if somebody is like holding a gun to me and I also have a gun and they start holding the gun and then start monologuing about like how they got to that spot, I'm just gonna shoot him like when he's doing that.
Yeah.
So it's like when the heroes just like look at him, they're like, yeah, I want to know your story. It's like, dude, just fucking kill him.
It's like you sat there and listened to him talk the whole time.
Yeah. You could have moved or done anything.
Yeah. So I do think in anime though, because you're right. It's like it's hilarious, you know, because you're like it's not realistic at all.
Yeah.
I do think though in that way it serves a very important creative purpose.
Yeah.
In that like you as the viewer now get like the explanation of something.
Yes.
You know, it
That's
advances, it either just like gives you information or advances the plot somehow.
That's
because like in the early episodes of Naruto, man, they literally are just like, they're like, oh, it's like the first time you see, so they have different kinds of jutsu, and like a psychological jutsu they have is the genjutsu. And it's like the first episode you see someone use a genjutsu, like Naruto's like, oh my god, what kind of jutsu is this? And then it's just like one of the characters in the background is like, this is his genjutsu, and then it's like 15 minutes literally just explaining what genjutsu is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But then they like put it in like the evil guy's like monologue.
Yes,
you know.
Yeah. And the sexy jutsu. That's what I remember about episode 1. Yeah. No, that makes sense. You're very right. And I feel like in shows, like in a book, you can foreshadow that and like slip that in throughout, and you can do that in a show. But when it's visual, you don't get as. You know what? We should talk about anime sometime, because what I love about anime is it's like a bridge between like Western shows storytelling and books, because in the book what you don't get in like the Western shows is the internal monologue. They show it in other ways, but in anime you get a bridge between them both. You get the internal monologue and all the visual action that you don't get to experience in the book. Tangent. Okay, I digress.
Good.
The last one here, this is a pretty common one, is this isn't even like a huge one, but the coming of age tied to like magic being revealed. Like in terms of like, you don't have magic until you hit puberty, and then all of a sudden your powers appear. And this makes sense to me. I mean, it's just like normal other things, but that's a very common one.
And it's like, who wants to watch something or read something about like magic 4-year-olds?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like who did that? The Incredibles with like the baby Jack or whatever, like has powers. But like, could you imagine an entire series where it's like just Jack?
Oh yeah,
like
brutal.
And the magic.
There was like a side thing they did, like a little.
It was probably like a little
feature,
spin-off, like
something kind of.
Yeah,
but it was like 10 minutes.
You know, like, so they really don't do a lot of contemporary like villain monologues. Like you don't see that very much anymore. But you know, one I was thinking about is and this is anime technically, but Invincible.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of like they do monologues good in that.
I agree. They like do them with the action, or it make like he punches him into the ground, and the guy like can't move, so he like does some monologuing. Yeah, I agree. I love Invincible. The show's awesome. Yeah. Are there any I missed that like immediately come to your mind? Any like famous tropes?
I guess this is kind of rags. This is probably maybe falls under like the rags to riches, but the classic like class system. Right?
Oh yeah.
So Hunger Games.
Yes, yeah.
That one about the people on the train, and then like the cars in the back of the train, up to like the cars at the front of the train.
Oh yeah.
It was a movie. I can't remember.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. Is train in the name of that movie? Maybe. I know what you're talking about though. Yeah.
Silo, how like the different levels.
Oh yeah.
Like are like represent class. So like that again, common thread in people, Red Rising, like a common thread in people's lives that they kind of see a little bit of that underdog sort of thing. But
I like those stories. They make it very nuanced, and I like that part of it.
Yeah. It's funny because speaking of tropes, like a little more meta, like anytime, and I think we've talked about this. I know I've talked to you about it before, but like I tell Kelly like, oh, you know, you should give this a chance. Or like she asks like something that I'm reading about or watching, and she's just like, oh, what's that? And then I say, oh, it's about this. And she's just like, oh, so it's basically this. It's they share common tropes. It doesn't make them the same.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
That's, oh yeah, dude. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
To people when I'm talking to them too. It's like, oh, like this. Well, kind of, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One that does come to mind is the like foreign savior.
Oh yeah. Yes.
That's a big one.
Atreides.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a big one.
Avatar, like all those where the outsider.
Yeah.
Like comes in.
That's true. I like all those stories we just named. So I must like that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, cool, man. That was it. So real quick, just for the audience, I'm still working through A Conjuring of Light is what it's called. I have like 150 pages left, and then I'm going to start The Will of the Many. Speaking of that series.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Crazy with Fuse out, baby.
Today.
Out today.
Yeah. Or I guess when you watched this last week. Viewers.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I was like, had the itch to just buy it on Kindle right away.
Yes.
Even though I've got hundreds of pages left in Words of Radiance.
Yes.
So I think what I want is a hard copy of it.
Yeah, dude.
And do it that way. The problem is, man, these big old books, it's like I can take a Kindle anywhere. I can read it in bed. I can do like all those things that just with like a physical
but think
book.
About how that hardcover is going to look on your bookshelf.
Ooh, yeah, baby. More like in the box because I got to move every.
I know, yeah. That is one thing. I accumulate so many books because I like reading physical books. I don't even own a Kindle, actually, which I probably should look into that. But yeah, then when we move, I like have a bag that's just books. Yeah, actually, it's pretty cumbersome. Yeah.
Do you call it a book bag?
Ooh, okay. Here's a question.
I'm glad they came up with that.
Do you call your bag a book bag or a backpack?
Backpack.
I've always called it a book bag, and Claire thinks that's weird.
I probably call it a backpack. Yeah, backpack.
She's like, you don't only have books in there. I'm like, that's just what I was taught.
You know, back in the day, they used to only have books. Okay,
that's right. That's right. We didn't have them laptops in third grade like them
what
kids.
Else you gonna carry? Yeah, dude. I cannot wait for you to start that book, and then we will definitely have to read straight. If you like it,
I'm sure
I'm trying to keep myself from just assuming that you'll like it.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, what if I don't like it?
I know.
No, I'm sure I will like it. We have very similar taste.
I will tell you too, in the appendix or glossary, whichever one it is that you would call it. I guess glossary, but all the names, because they're like very much like Latin names in that book. And I didn't realize it for a very long time that I was pronouncing everyone's name.
Oh, so it has a pronunciations in there.
Yeah, it has pronunciations in the back. So that you can get like
that's a good idea.
I mean, it may or may not help, but some of the like main characters, I just like, oh, I'm not even close on that. So there's awesome. A little friendly thing for you, but.
Dude. That just made me think. When I play D&D with reroll, when like a new character is introduced, I'll always write it down, and every time I don't understand why I don't just like write it down with like the pronunciation marks on there, because then when I say their name later in the session, there's a 95% chance I mispronounce it. And it's only me every time. I'm like, that's what I wrote. I wrote it down. They're like, you wrote it down wrong. Like, and it's not like I told you the spelling. You just chose to write it down with a weird spelling that made you pronounce it wrong. It's like, yeah, my bad.
Oh boy, you better get together for your live.
I know.
Next recording, man.
Well, all right, everybody.
All right.
This has been week 10 of the NFL, but episode 11 of Fantasy and Football.
Look at this guy.
We'll be back next week. We're going to talk about week 11 of the football. And then in the fantasy section, we're going to talk about the topic, is fantasy cool now?
So, you can tell by looking at us, a little preview.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you next week. Peace.